What happens when you find a nice old lady who died of natural causes at your doorstep? Let's find out. Roll the music. Hello, everybody, and welcome to your next episode of Butterscotch Rewatch. Today, we are going over Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, which was 1991, and it stars Christina Applegate as Swell. Sue Ellen is her name, but they call her Swell. Joanna Cassidy is Rose. John Getz is Gus, sleazy old Gus. Josh Charles is Brian. Keith Coogan is Kenny. David Duchovny is Bruce. Jane Brooke is Carolyn. And Danielle Harris as Melissa. All right. So let's get started. Arlen, do you want to get started? No.
Yeah, so we start the movie with Christina Applegate, and this is Sue Ellen, and we see her shopping at like a thrift store with her friends, or just like a department store with her friends. And we find out that she is the oldest of 5 children. She's 17. She just graduated high school, so this is her summer vacation before she goes off to school or college or whatever she's planning on doing. So she's just shopping with her friends, and in this discussion that they're all having, all of her friends are going to Europe for the summer except for her. And the reason is because her mom is going to Australia with her fancy rich boyfriend. So she's leaving for 2 months instead of getting allowed to go to Europe with her friends. But she's totally okay with it because she still gets the house to herself. She still gets to use the car. And she basically gets to do whatever she wants because she has 4 other siblings. So they're all going to watch each other instead.
Right. So we're going to cut to the Crandall house, and we're going to meet the other children. They're all delights. Mom is also a delight. Yeah. Mom is trying to ask all the kids to do something or come here or, and they're all like, screw you.
There's
They have
definitely no authority in the house. The
no
house looks like
respect.
an episode of Hoarders.
Yes. And she just gets no respect. I kind of feel like she doesn't deserve the respect. She's just.
Yeah, you can, and they don't really ever specify, but like they kind of throw digs at her, like that she's kind of like a flight risk almost kind of thing. Like she cares more about her boyfriend and herself over like actually being a mother to her children. And like there's just little things that happen, like, oh, well, Melissa was supposed to be signed up for T-ball, but mom has never made the effort to sign her up for T-ball. And like the kids obviously don't really respect her or care to do anything for her because I don't think she really does anything for the kids
No.
either.
And I know Melissa makes it like, you're supposed to sign me up for Little League. And the mom's like, Little League will be there next year. And she's like, so will Australia.
True.
Like, So, like I said, they all ignore her. Dad's not in the picture. It just seems like he's not. Maybe he's a deadbeat dad. I don't know. Or the mom just absolutely hates this man. He's alive.
Yeah. He's not
'Cause
dead
they're
or
like,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, but because there's always like when they're going through some hard times, they're like, oh, well, what if we talk to dad? And the response is always like, dad doesn't care. Dad won't care about us and he forgot about us and blah, blah. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it was just a really nasty divorce or if dad is, absent or
Just a deadbeat
whatever.
dad. Doesn't pay
Yeah,
child support.
seriously.
Although their house is very nice.
Their house
It's
is
a
really
mess.
nice.
It is literally like, it looks like a hoarder's house, but
Yeah.
it is a very nice house. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the family members here. So like we said, Melissa, she is the second youngest. She's very tomboyish. I don't know if that's still a word, but this is
Yeah.
90s. We're going to go with 90 words. Tomboyish. She's currently outside when the mom's calling her and she's burning bugs they look like those giant flying cockroaches.
Yeah, they're
know?
huge bugs,
Yeah,
like
like you've
roaches
seen.
or something.
Yeah, those Fear Factor. They're like, cockroaches are gonna climb
When
all
they're in
over
the
you.
glass tank and
Yeah.
they're like crawling all over them. Yeah.
And she's like literally burning them with the magnifying glass, like burn suckers. So okay, so great for that. And then we have Zach and Walter. Zach is the middle of the 5 children, and he likes to steal. I don't like Zach. Just gets on my nerves.
Zach,
Um,
yeah.
he literally goes into his mom's wallet and looks for money,
Right in
and
front of
then
her,
really, yeah,
by the way.
she's like, put it away. if you need money, just ask. And he goes, can I have $10? And she's like, no. So then he just like walks away. So that's Zach. Walter is the youngest. He is always in his pajamas. He
Oh.
loves to eat cereal and he loves to watch TV. His life is literally sitting in front of the TV eating cereal.
Like Saturday cartoons and like Wheel of
Mhm.
Fortune, like all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
All those game shows and stuff like that. He
Hmm.
just seems to really like that. One of them he's watching is
I don't
Win, Lose, or Draw,
know.
I think it was called. Yeah, I
Oh,
think that was the name of the show is Win, Lose, or Draw. I could be wrong.
oh,
But
okay. I was like,
yeah,
I've never heard of that.
it's an old show. It was really fun. Um, and his buddy is Elvis the dog, who is a corgi, I believe, right? He's a
Yeah,
corgi.
Corgi for
He's
sure.
so cute. And then we have Kenny. So Kenny is the second oldest. He is 15. His character's 15 in this. Definitely a stoner and could care less about anything but himself and his friends and just getting stoned. Completely ignores his mom and forgets she's even leaving. Like he gets in his car to leave with his friends and they're like, "Isn't your mom leaving for like 2 months?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah. Have
Yeah,
fun, mom."
his friends are the one that tells him, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, have fun, mom," and then they're
Yeah.
like driving off.
Yeah. Yeah. So Swellen comes home as Kenny is leaving. Kenny really digs her friend Nicole.
Hmm.
He's like, "Hey Nicole," and he leans on her car. He's like, "Hey Nicole, how's it going?" And she turns the windshield wipers on. Bye, Kenny. No,
Yeah.
thank you. Um, and all her mom cares about is like she comes home and Sue Ellen's like, "Hey, mom," and she all mom cares about is like, "Why did you leave dishes for me in the sink?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Hi, mom. You're not leaving for 2 months." And she's like, "Oh, the kitchen's a mess. The house is a mess." Um, just that's all she cares about. It's just she's really like digging into Sue Ellen instead of like, like
You're like, "Oh, how
she's
was
the
your day?"
mother.
Or
Yeah, like it's your job to make sure everything's done. Nobody else's. And I really hate that she doesn't make others take accountability. So
yeah.
she makes a big deal how she's 37 and she's time for a vacation. No,
She's had
Wally?
a really rough life the last
Yeah,
37 years, and she really needs a vacation with her boyfriend and all this stuff. Like, okay, girl.
right. While I agree with taking a vacation, you 2 months is a little much,
Yes,
in my
yeah.
opinion. Again,
A
others
new
may disagree.
boyfriend too. Like, I'm pretty sure that boyfriend was relatively new as well, because he has like a sheep farm in
Yeah,
Australia. I think that was like the whole thing. I don't know.
right.
I feel
Yeah,
like mom is kind of like like where she just kind of goes from guy to guy. We don't see
yeah.
that in the movie, but I feel that's just like the kind of the vibe she's
Mhm.
getting is that she can't be independent. Like she
Right.
has to be like dependent on somebody.
Yeah, and just that she would leave for 2 months and she has younger children. And the oldest is 17. Wow, that's old enough to like leave the kids home alone for like
Yeah.
a little bit,
Well,
not two
Walter is
months.
like what, 6? Like he's
6 or 7
little.
maybe. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
little. Yeah. He still needs, definitely to be supervised at all times. And,
Yeah.
the other kids are obviously not, mature enough, as you can tell from the beginning.
Yeah, they don't have
Even,
any priorities or
mhm,
anything like that. They just they're all like very selfish. As
yes,
you can
that's a
see,
good
like
word.
throughout the film, like they're all just so super selfish. They only care about what they want and what they like. So they don't really care who they mess with
Yeah.
kind of in between.
They just don't, it's literally zero fucks are given in this entire household.
Yeah,
I mean,
perfect.
yeah, seriously, because Sue Ellen walks into the kitchen. Walter has a bowl and he goes to pour the cereal and he pours the entire box of cereal
Mhm.
and he goes, "No prizes." Ooh. And it just
Yeah, he doesn't even
just
eat the
leaves it there.
cereal.
Yeah,
Like he
it just
just
leaves
dumps
it
it all
there.
over the table. It's just like this mountain of like Reese's Puffs.
Melissa's sitting at the table with a sandwich and she's just stabbing it with a butter knife like this. And then she's like pulling it apart. Awesome. And then Zach is eating meatballs. So,
You know?
and he gets done. He brings his plate and puts it on the island and he's like, "Okay, done."
Yeah,
Like,
and keep in mind, Kenny is the one that's supposed to be like unloading the dishwasher. Like, apparently, they all have jobs like in the house for chores, but then I feel like they all just kind of put it on each other. Or like when mom is like, "Oh, Sue Ellen, why didn't you empty out the dishwasher or whatever?" And then she's like, "Oh, well, that's Kenny's job." Blah blah blah. Like they all just keep pushing stuff
Yeah.
on each other.
Yeah. And we all know Kenny's not doing anything.
And he's stoned out of
Literally.
his mind.
Yes. Yes. So,
He's literally like, "Dude, where's my car?" Like he's just not. Yeah, he's not. His brain cells are not present.
yeah.
But it's okay.
So Sue Ellen is trying to get her mom out of the house, basically like, oh, have fun. We've got everything covered. Everything's great. You know, she's like, here's plenty of money for you. Blah 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 blah. And then something happens before the mom
Yeah, so of course, like this whole belief, right? Sue Ellen's like, oh my God, I'm gonna have the summer basically to myself. I'm gonna go to the beach all the time because just me and the kids are all pretty self-sufficient, whatever. We have all this money, blah 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 blah. So mom does not tell them until like right this second that she hired a babysitter. And the way that they find out that they have a babysitter is they have somebody ringing the doorbell. And so when Sue Ellen opens the door, it's this little old lady who's like kind of giving Nanny McPhee vibes,
is.
Mrs. Sturrock. And she is just like this little old lady that looks like she just knits and crochets in her like free time. And she literally slams the door, like Sue Ellen slams the door on Mrs. Sturrock's face and is like,
Yes.
Mom, who the hell is this lady? And mom is basically saying to Sue Ellen, like, oh, she has a ton of experience. Like, she's gonna take really good care of you guys. And Sue Ellen's like, of course she has a lot of experience. She's like 200 years old. Like, this lady does look like she's about to croak at any second.
Correct.
And mom basically just gives the manila envelope to the babysitter with all the money and then kind of like a list of like stuff around the house or like a grocery list, like anything. She's like, there's plenty of money in here for groceries and all that other stuff. Like, just do whatever you need to do. And I trust you and blah, 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 blah. So mom says, peace out, Girl Scout. She's like running to the shuttle to go to the airport.
Yep.
And we hear like this whistle, like literally like they're about to start soccer practice or something, like a whistle in the distance. And it's Mrs. Sturrock. She's literally nuts. She's like, all right, she's ordering people around. She's like, all right, you, like, we need to get together, go over the rules. Like, you can't have a tight ship if it's just all willy-nilly. Now,
She does like a chore chart and she's like doing all these things. So Sue Ellen's like, if you think you're gonna tell us what to do, you're mistaken. Like
like
that's
you're
not gonna
basically
happen.
dreaming. Girl,
Yeah,
this
you're
is not
dreaming.
the time, not the place. We don't even have respect for our mother. Why would we have respect for you?
Correct. So Sue Ellen is a smoker. So she takes the cigarette out of her mouth, throws it on the ground, and stomps it with her cane.
Hmm.
And she almost hits the poor dog with the cane too as she's walking up the stairs. Poor Elvis. I'm like, baby,
Yeah, he's
aw.
so cute.
And she kind of goes through the house and like puts everything down. So she goes to the TV for Walter and she turns it off and he goes, "Hey," and she goes, "TV rots your brain." and and she goes and she grabs an encyclopedia because we all had encyclopedias at our house back in the day. She grabs the A and she goes, "I'm going to complete report on the life of the aardvark tomorrow morning." And the book is like this big. He's
Yeah,
like,
it's thick.
he's like 6. I don't even know if he can like fully
Read.
read, especially that book,
Right.
He's like on the Hungry Caterpillar. That's where he's at.
No, right.
Um, she interrupts Zach. Zach's outside in like the car and he has like the moon roof on or
Yeah, like
yeah.
open.
And he's with his girlfriend, Cynthia, and he tells her that she's his moon goddess. And Sturrock comes, knocks on the window, and tells Zach, "Time to go to bed," and grabs Cynthia, poor Cynthia, grabs her out of the car and calls her a trollop. Time for
Yeah.
trollops to go home. This girl's like 14, 13 maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. And then she tells Melissa that girls should dress like girls. Melissa comes out of the room with a pink dress and this
Like this
ginormous
floofy
pink
bow.
bow.
Yes.
But she still has her like Converse on. And she goes like, as Sturrock leaves, she's like,
Yeah, she's flipping her off.
Yeah.
She's like, you gotta
Um,
act more like a girl, and then she literally flips her off. Like, it's so funny.
oh, she's got somebody else's room to go into. This one gives her a little
Yeah.
different reaction, doesn't it, Ireland?
Yeah, so Mrs. Sturrock is not prepared for what's in a 15-year-old boy's room, okay? So she literally opens up Kenny's room, and remember, Kenny is gone. And like a fun fact about this is Kenny actually never meets the babysitter. So like she literally hasn't even seen this kid ever. So she goes in the room and all it's like dun 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 basically like it
Yes.
zooms in on multiple things. Like there's drug paraphernalia everywhere, there's naked posters of girls everywhere, there's food and like crumbs everywhere. Like there's like a record player and it's spinning around and there's like half a pretzel on the
Or
record
hot
player.
dog or
Like I don't even
yeah,
know what that
something. I
was.
don't know.
Like
Yeah.
it's just absolutely disgusting. You cannot see the floor. There is just it's just freaking chaos in there. And you have like all like the metal band like posters and everything too, and like the Satanists like poster, like that kind of stuff. Like it's just like all the random teenage boy
Naked girls posters.
druggy kind of stuff going
Yeah.
on in there. And she literally like she's clutching her pearls. If she was wearing pearls, she's like clutching them. She's like she can't even catch her breath. Um and then she's just had enough. Like she then we kind of see her just like walk off and then just go to her room basically.
Yes. And Sue Ellen is talking to her friend Nicole, and like, I can't believe my mom hired a babysitter. What the hell? All the kids come into the room except for Kenny because Kenny's gone,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We gotta tell her like this is bullcrap. Like she needs to
Yeah.
like know her place." So Sue Ellen's like, "Oh, all right, fine. I'll talk to Mrs. Sturak." So she heads to her room. She goes inside and she closes the door. So the kids think she's talking to Sturak. And she's like, "Look, Mrs. Sturrock, you can't just be bossing us around and, doing all this stuff. We're not going to take it. This is not how we do things, and we're not going to take any more of your crap." And then Mrs. Sturrock's she's in her chair, and she's like, Mrs. Sturrock," and she turns the thing or the chair, and she's like, dead.
Yeah, she's literally just
she,
like not even a pulse or nothing.
Kenny's room has killed Mrs. Sturrock. Died by going through Kenny's room.
Yeah.
And the, Sue Ellen's like, "Oh crap." So this is when Kenny conveniently comes home. He's got a couple weed plants in his hands, so he's all excited. He knows nothing of what is going on. He just goes straight to his room. He puts them on like a windowsill. One of them falls through the window and crashes. You can hear it crash, even though they're plastic, the containers. Um, and then Sue Ellen runs in to tell Kenny that he needs to come see this. And he's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And they can't call the cops because mom will come home. The last thing they want is for their mother anywhere near them. Again, this just is a testament to how much they just love their mom.
Yeah.
So they decide to put her in her clothes trunk that she came with. And they put it in the car. She drives this like old school Buick, like a 1950s Buick with like the white wall tires and everything.
Yeah.
And they put the trunk in there and they take her for a ride. What did they do, Ireland?
Yeah, so they basically dump her off at the mortuary, like at the literally the doorstep of a mortuary. And they leave a little note on the trunk that says, "Nice old lady inside, died of natural causes." And that's it. Like they basically like ding dong ditch them and drive off with that. And then they just have like two men kind of open up the door and then they bring her inside and that's pretty much all she wrote.
They were like,
Um,
who would do something like that? Leave a nice old lady on a porch.
yeah, it's like, oh, nice old lady. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of how they just, I don't want to say dispose of the body, but that's pretty much what they do.
Mhm.
And we cut to the next day, and Sue Ellen is driving everybody to the grocery store because they have no food in the house. Like, at least very little food right now. And they're like, okay, well, mom left us all this money. Great, let's go to the grocery store. Let's get what we need. And then they realize that they don't have the envelope with the money, and they actually don't have it anywhere in the house, because they kind of turn back and go around and tear the whole house apart to look for
Mhm.
it, and they do not have it. So that means Mrs. Sturrock probably had it, and it's probably in that clothing chest, and there's no way for them to get it. So.
Yep. They're not going to go back and get it and be like, oh, yeah,
I
that
know.
dead lady
Hey,
we
we're the
dropped
ones that
off.
dumped that old lady.
The kids are like, we need to come up with a plan because somebody needs to get a job. We need money. Somebody needs to get a job. And Kenny's like, well, I'm not getting a job, and
Of course,
she's
can't
like,
keep his
well,
eyes open.
so they take a Mama Celeste pizza. And she's like, Mama Celeste up, I get a job. Mama Celeste down. Kenny, you're selling like roses at the rest stops or something like
Yeah, like
that.
on the freeway.
Yeah. So she flips it, lands Mama Celeste up, which means she's got to go get a job. Well, she's only 17, so there's only so many places a 17-year-old can get a job. So she goes to the local fast food place called Clown Dog. It's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she meets Brian, who works there as well. He's like the delivery guy. He drives the clown car around making deliveries. And he's trying to like talk to her and, make her laugh and stuff, basically flirting with her. And she's just like, oh great, I'm so excited to have this job. Like, ugh, I'm supposed to be enjoying my summer.
Yeah, and they're
Um,
literally making like chili dogs and like pretty much everything that you could think of with lard and all that stuff. Like it's just
yeah.
disgusting in there.
He's like, don't forget to put the chili on those dogs. And he does what? And
Yeah.
don't forget to smile. I'd be
Yeah.
like,
Nothing makes me want to smile
smile.
more like a middle-aged man telling me
Yeah.
that I should smile more. So,
Yes. Who works at Clown Dog. Like, okay, sir.
who is like the
Yeah.
assistant manager at Clown Dog.
Don't tell me to smile. It's
Mm-mm.
going to make me never smile.
Right.
Um, and then later on at night, Sue Ellen is closing up and she is scrubbing the fat vats. Sounds exciting. And it's splashing everywhere. It's all over. It just keeps like getting on her. It's just disgusting. And Brian's like, oh, don't you just love doing that? And she's like, oh, I feel great about it. It's wonderful. Um, and he's like, well, why are you working here? And she's like, well, that's a good question. If you hate us so much, why are you working here? And she's like, that's a great question. And then here comes the good old boss. And he's like, you're almost doing it correctly. What does he tell her she needs to do in order to do it correctly?
That she needs to smile. And that was the tipping point. Like he says, "Oh, you need to do it with a smile." And she said, "I'll do you one better. I quit. You're
Yes.
disgusting. Get away from me." So she quits and then she makes a point to tell Brian that maybe that she'll see him around because he's definitely a cutie and they definitely
Hmm.
had a connection.
Yeah. When she's smiling, she's like, before she smiles, she's literally like, she's like,
Literally.
um, so at home, Ellen is going through the want ads and also has some books on how to write resumes. So she sees an ad for a receptionist position at GAW Apparel. So she's like, ooh, clothing. She loves clothing stores. That's where she wanted to get a job. She's like,
Mhm.
anybody will hire me for a clothing store job. And they didn't, obviously. So she's like, cool. And she types up her resume and she basically copies. Like, I don't think she knows. Like, she typed in like a master's degree in like merchandising. She
And
went
like
to,
fashion experience in like Tokyo and like all of this kind of stuff. So,
she went to
yeah.
Vassar.
Yep. Yep.
She just copied. She doesn't even know what she put in it. She's just trying to make it look really good for the receptionist position. And so she types up her resume. She goes through her mom's closet to find terrible clothes. She's just like, ugh. She's finding clothes like this.
Mm.
And so she kind of puts her own outfit together between her mom's stuff, her mom's more professional stuff, and her like more fun stuff. She makes these very wacky outfits. I mean, she looks good in them because she looks good in anything, but that they're kind of like leaning towards she's definitely like a fashion forward person. So all this cool stuff she's putting together,
Yeah.
puts her hair up in a bun, super professional. She has like a briefcase. I don't know if anything's in the briefcase. but
Probably not.
her
I think
resume.
her resume was in there and that was it.
Hmm. And so she goes to the receptionist. She goes to the reception to hand in her resume. This is where we meet super sweet Carolyn. Just kidding, she's a raging cunt. She
Yeah,
is
complete
awful.
bitch.
She is terrible. She's a terrible person. Um, and she's like, "Hi." And the phone keeps ringing. It just keeps ringing. And it rings, and she's like, "Oh no, I can't do that right now because I have to reroute all the incompetent people to the personnel to the personnel floor."
Yeah,
Like, basically, obviously talking about her and being real snotty about it.
right in front of her.
Hmm. And then
Just,
she places it on hold for Sue Ellen. What does she tell Sue Ellen?
yeah, so basically she's talking to her like she's stupid and she
Mhm.
does like the slow talk to her and like the little hand motions. So she's like, "You are supposed to go to personnel. That's on the first floor, not this floor. There's a big sign that says personnel. Now, do you understand?" Like she's talking to her like she doesn't even know fucking English. And Carolyn leaves. Finally, she does not deserve any screen time. She's horrible. And we see Rose for the first time coming up to the desk looking for Carolyn. And she's just like, "Oh, where's Carolyn?"
So I want to mention another snooty thing that Carolyn does before is when she's talking about personnel. She goes, "You'll take the elevator down to the first floor. Well, you'll see a sign that says personnel." Very, oh God, I just wanted to like snuggle her through the TV.
Yeah,
You want to just be like, "Bitch, slap her." Shut up.
seriously.
We have a duel. And the Rose just coming up and just her explaining Caroline with mousy brown hair and gives you a headache. And then Sue Ellen says, like she's talks like she's
And chew
chewing
her
her
face off.
face, chewing her face. It's like she's
Literally.
chewing her face. That's her. And that's when she says she is, Carolyn will be back in a few seconds. And she says, "I'm here for the receptionist job." So of course Rose wants to take a peek. And she's looking at her resume and she's like, "What? Vassar, Tokyo, this master's degree." She's like,
Mm.
"You're overqualified." And she's like, for this position. And she tells her, she's like, "Look, they're supposed to be hiring Carolyn. They're moving Carolyn up to as my executive assistant. I can't stand her. That's why they're hiring the receptionist." She's like,
Mhm.
"Why don't you come work for me? Instead, you have so much, you're way overqualified." She's like, "But I'm here for the receptionist position." She's like, "Don't you understand? You're way overqualified. Come,
Yeah.
why would you want to be down here when you could be on the executive level with me?" She's like, "Say yes." And she says yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right away, Rose doesn't waste any time. She walks her around and shows her new office, which has a beautiful window, and it's like a little corner office right next to Rose's office. And she tells Sue Ellen that if HR calls, tell them that Rose hired her because they can be a little interesting. So just say that they got deferred from Rose. And Rose firmly believes that Sue Ellen is at least above 26 years old. And keep
Mhm.
in mind, Sue Ellen is 17, okay? And now we meet Skeezy Gus. And Skeezy Gus is like another executive, like administrator at the building. I literally have no idea what he does because who cares? He sucks. And this is when we find out that it's like Rose's boyfriend. I would say
Boyfriend?
more like sneaky link, like talking stage kind of thing
Yeah.
because he will never commit. He's disgusting, he's skeezy, he hits on everything that has a pulse. It's just a lot. And he's like making eyes at Sue Ellen already. And Sue
Yeah.
Ellen obviously is like, okay, nice to meet you. Great. Like, ew, get away from me.
He does the creepy face when he sees her. He's like,
Yeah.
he's so creepy. This actor plays such a creeper. He's so good at it. He is
Yeah,
like,
he
you're
definitely
just
is
like,
great at playing a
ugh.
D-bag.
You're like, I
Ew.
need to take 12 showers because I feel so dirty, like
Right.
watching. Ugh.
Literally.
Uh, and of course, Rose is like, okay, we get paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. And she goes, oh, there's one thing I forgot to tell you. And she says, whenever they are not alone or Rose is on the phone and asks Swell for something, she's like, literally anything, she needs her to say,
I'm right on top of that, Rose. Okay? Okay.
That's what she needs her to say.
Nice and easy.
Yep.
And we go to this pizza arcade, and all the kids are there, and Sue Ellen is just telling Kenny about her new job because she's just like, oh well, I'm an executive assistant to like this executive of fashion or something like that there. And Kenny's like, what the hell is that? And Sue's like, girl, I don't even know, but they're gonna pay me $37,000 for the year salary. And he's like, damn, you are going to choke, you are gonna drown, like you're never gonna survive there basically. And she's kind of talking herself into it. She's like, no, like I can do it, like I can tread above water, I'm a fast learner, all of this stuff. And as them two and the kids are walking out of the pizza arcade, we just see three drag queens stealing their Buick. They're just stealing their car. They're hot wiring their car, and they stole it, and they're literally driving off into the distance.
Yeah, they were dressed as like Marilyn Monroe, Liza Minnelli, and I forgot who the third one
I
was.
don't know
Just
who the other
another
one was.
icon. Yeah,
Liza
another
Minnelli
icon.
was the driver. That's all
Yeah.
I saw.
They're like, Liza took off with her car. Liza stole her car. So
Seriously.
yeah, so they've got to call somebody. I mean, their mom's out of town. Sturak is dead.
Yeah, Dad doesn't care. So
Mhm.
the only person that we can call is cutie little Brian.
And here he comes in his little clown dog car. That's like,
Yeah, he's like an ice cream truck, basically. Yes, it's like an ice cream truck basically just like
Yeah.
remodeled into like a delivery truck.
Yes, it's very cute. And when he drops them off, the kids go in, they run inside, and of course Sue Ellen's talking to him, and he has leftover food from a delivery, and says, "Do you want the food?" And she's like, "Oh no, thank you." And then you hear in the background the kids literally like fighting to the death and yelling and screaming, and she's like, "You know what?
Yeah,
Let's just take it this one time."
Penny literally comes out and says that Walter and Melissa are fighting over the last snowball and it's getting ugly, and then you just hear like all this crashing and stuff in the distance, and Sue Ellen's like, actually, maybe I will take you up on that offer.
Right. It's like, take that. Yeah. And of course, Brian asks her out on Monday night, and she agrees.
As she should.
Mm-hmm. So next morning, Solon's up at 5:30 and makes the kids breakfast. She's like trying to act all grown up, and she goes, one's like, I want steak and eggs or something like that, and pancakes or waffles or something. And she literally takes a punch bowl, puts it in the center of the table where the three kids are sitting, the younger kids, and she just dumps the Captain Crunch in there, and then she just dumps like a whole half gallon of milk in there, and then she gives them like 3 spoons and says, have at it. And breakfast is served, and Melissa and Zach are like, and Walter's like,
so
all
happy.
right.
He's thrilled. He's like, hell yeah, this is what I've been waiting for. And Sue Ellen finally gets to work, and she looks all professional. Her hair is all done in like a nice little French twist kind of thing, and she looks very professional. And she walks in, and of course, bitch Carolyn stops her. And Sue Ellen basically tells her, like, hey, girl, Rose hired me. I work for Rose. And Carolyn is like, bitch, that should have been my job. You're the one that she chose. Like, there's something sketchy going on here, and I'm smelling a little phony, basically. And when Sue Ellen kind of leaves that encounter with Carolyn, she's walking into Rose's office, and Rose is on the phone, and she is so sad because they just lost another customer. Mm-hmm. And their company is kind of going under a little bit because what they do is they create uniforms and all that kind of stuff. But Sue Ellen was under the impression that they were a nice fashion designer clothing line. And Rose is like, oh, girl, do not be silly. We
She
are
literally laughs, yeah.
the bottom of the barrel. And when they start touring their little, I want to say warehouse.
With
It's
the
like the
like
warehouse
production
where
liners and
everything
stuff.
is getting,
Hmm.
yes, exactly, where everything's getting created and like the templates and all that stuff. Sue Ellen meets the head designer, Little Franklin.
Oh, he's so cute.
He is adorable.
Franklin is uh like Leslie Jordan. Is that his right?
Yeah, he is so
Oh,
cute.
the cutest, like littlest
Little old
gay
man.
man. He's so adorable. I just love him so much. And he's like 5 feet tall. That literally, I mean, it's literally
Yeah,
like,
he's so
yeah,
cute.
yeah, he's adorable. And so, of course, her and Franklin do, are friends because Sue
Yeah,
Ellen's
they
so
hit it off.
sweet and he's so sweet, so it's just, she's like, he'll be getting his purchase orders and approving that, bring them to me to approve, all that kind of stuff. And she's writing this down. She's like, okay. And then Rose also tells her, I'm going to need bi-weekly reports as well as a whole bunch of other things because she's basically the hub of communications for the company. I think she bit off more than she can chew.
Yeah, and Rose doesn't even hold back. She gives her a ton of these, like this work reports. It's a stack, like basically a foot tall. And it's including these QED reports, which Sue Ellen has never even heard of before. They're basically like itemized reports. And she's like, oh, by the way, can you fax this to New York for me? And obviously, Sue Ellen has never used a fax machine in her life either. Sue Ellen can't even get her computer to turn on correctly. Like the computer's on, but she keeps pressing like the enter button and it's like not even going to the right page that she wants. It's a hot freaking mess. So Sue Ellen just goes down to reception. She's looking for a fax machine, but it brings her to the head desk with freaking Carolyn, and she's horrible. But Carolyn has a delivery from Clown Dog, like a little to-go bag on her desk. And Sue Ellen's like, girl, where did you get that from? And Carolyn's basically like, oh, like what? Like I can't order lunch? Like my little brother dropped it by to get me some lunch and blah, 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 blah. And Sue Ellen puts it together. She's like, oh shit. The love of my life, little Brian, is freaking related to this monster, Carolyn.
Yep. And as Sue Ellen is trying to fax and she's not doing it well, it's like eating it and she's like, it's eating the paper and she's like trying to pull it out and then the phone rings and she answers it, but it's the fax. So it's like, and in walks Kathy. Kathy is adorable. She's sweet. She works down the hall from Sue Ellen. She's another person's assistant. I don't know whose assistant she is. She says it, but it's not anybody that shows up in the movie. And she's like, oh, did I cut in front of you? And Sue Ellen's like, oh, no, I am just trying to organize my. She's like stats reports statistical like she's like making up these words and Kathy's like okay, so she has like the folder here and she's just like watching
Looking
Kathy and
over
Kathy
to
turns
see.
around, she's like
Yeah.
it's really
She's trying to figure out how to use this damn
Yeah.
fax machine, and Kathy's doing a great job with it, so she's kind of peeking over, and of course Kathy, being the sweet girl that she is, she's like, oh, like, that's the job I applied for, but my resume wasn't good enough, like, it's so good to meet you finally, because she's heard a little bit about her, and basically extends the olive branch and says, hey, if you ever need me to do anything, or ever need help with anything, like, I'm a whiz with the computer, like, I'm pretty much free, because she's on top of it, obviously. She's very good at her job. So if you ever need anything, please reach out to me. And the first thing that Sue Ellen says is, how are you at QED reports?
And Kathy is ecstatic. She's like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, oh, and these things are about this big. They're just the old school with it's even got the paper with the holes in it. And it's the green and like white, way old school. And it's like on this binder and it's just huge and it's just spreadsheet after spreadsheet.
Like at least like 400 pages.
Yeah.
At least.
And it's huge. And she's like, oh boy. So she grabs the one and, Sue Ellen's like, because Rose had told her earlier, like, don't get overwhelmed. Just do one thing at a time. And Sue Ellen actually says the exact same thing to Kathy. Don't feel overwhelmed. Just do one thing at a time. And she's like, okay. She's so cute. I just love her. Um, so she calls Kenny. Sue Ellen calls Kenny for an update. And now we get to meet Bruce, who is a scumbag as well. We're going to find out that Bruce is Carolyn, receptionist's boyfriend. This is David
Yeah.
Duchovny, a young
They're
David
made for each
Duchovny.
other.
And he's like, yo, where's, I forgot the girl's name, Normal. And he goes like this, you know. And she's ignoring him. She's like on the phone. She got a cigarette in her hand. And she's just like turned her thing by her chair. And she's literally not paying attention. He's like, yo, Gidget. Hey, come on. Let's go. I ain't got all day here. And he's touching stuff on her desk. And so she goes, hold on one moment, you know. And she goes, this is the whole conversation. I love it. She's like, what is your name and what do you do here? And he says, I'm Bruce. I'm the head inventory clerk. Why? She goes, well, Bruce, I'm the executive level administrative assistant. And when I get those figures ready, I'll give you a buzz and you can run up here and fetch them. All right? And he's like, yeah, sure. And then he does like the neck crack. Sorry. And she's like, it's okay. And then she turns around and like starts talking and he walks away.
So good. I
Great
love
conversation.
Christina.
Yes. Love that so much.
Yeah. And back at home, Kenny is watching TV with Walter because Walter, all he wants to do is just watch TV. And they're actually watching Julia Child's cooking show.
Yeah.
And this kind of enlightens something in Kenny. We're going to find out that he does really like cooking. And then we cut back to the office and Rose is going into Sue Ellen's office, her little nook there, and says, hey, like, can you please order lunch from this one really nice place? They have a really great, I don't know, something. The whole conversation is just whatever. And she goes, well, you can just use the petty cash for that. Remember, the petty cash is just in the locked drawer in your desk. And Sue Ellen's like, petty cash? Like, oh, all I have, like, sorry, because Rose is basically telling her you just have to leave the receipts so then we know what to replenish and kind of like an IOU kind of thing. And Sue Ellen now discovers this petty cash and she's going to take some of it for some groceries at home because, again, she doesn't get paid until the 1st and 15th of every month. So they're kind of in a pickle.
Yeah. There's a lot of money in there because she says that you can cash personal checks from the staff because not everybody has time to go to the bank thing. You know, so there's a lot of money in there. Just as long as you leave receipts, it's cool. So it's date time. So Ellen's getting ready for her date with Brian. And they're going to the beach to watch the grunion run.
Sure.
Yes. And the grunion are fish. The female fish come up and lay their eggs and then leave. And then the male fish come and then they fertilize them. And they're like talking like, you know, so they never get to do it. And he's like, I guess not. Trying to be all like coy with each other. Yeah, it's really cute. And then he makes like the kiss, like they're like gonna kiss, and he's like, I'm making it awkward, but they do kiss. It's really cute.
Super cute.
Yeah, and then they just end up walking on the beach and talking a lot. They've got a lot in common, you know. I don't know if I'm going to college. I want to go to college, but I have to save up. That's why I'm working at Clown Dog, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. And then the next morning, Kenny, being the lazy pile of crap he is, ate all the food that was bought. He was entertaining some friends. So Sue Ellen gives him money to shop and tells him to mow the lawn and to do the dishes. He says, oh, I'll do the dishes. So Kenny's going to do the dishes. So Kenny decides he's going to take all the dishes. He's going to use it for target practice with a BB gun.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a BB gun. It sounds like a shotgun. And they're doing like pull. And the guy throws the thing and he shoots it and it breaks and everything like that. And one of my most favorite lines in the whole movie.
Dishes are done, man.
He's very proud of himself.
What are we even doing, bud? Well, after that amazing encounter with Kenny, I love his character. But at work, we cut back to Sue Ellen at work, and Gus is looking for Rose. Again, Gus wants to take Rose out to lunch, but Sue Ellen informs him that, oh, you just missed her. She just went out. And Gus is like, well, why don't we go to lunch together? This will be our first kind of adventure out because, she's a newbie, whatever. And when they're out at lunch, this is when we first not figure out that Gus is creepy because just looking at Gus, he's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
But like now he's starting to do some weird advances. He tells Sue Ellen that him and Rose are not exclusive. We'll find out from Rose that they've not been exclusive for 7 months,
Right.
which is a long ass time. And he takes other women on dates all the time. So basically he's just open and free for anything. And he wants to make sure that Sue Ellen knows that he is free and available because he's a creep. And he tells her like, oh, you look so young. Has anybody ever told you that you look young? And she's like, not really. Like she's not having this conversation at all. She's just like, okay, whatever, you weirdo. And the more the date goes on, he's getting creepier and just creepier.
Yeah.
He tells her that because it's a special occasion, because it's their first lunch date together, that she should order a drink. And she orders a martini because that's just what fancy businesswomen order. And a Rossi on the rocks, which I've never even heard of either. And the waiter goes, sweet or dry? And she goes, a little bit of both.
Yeah, the waiter's like, oh,
But she
he's like,
doesn't know. She's 17.
Yeah.
She's not even allowed to drink.
right. And Gus is kind of like, yeah.
And the waiter's like, whatever you say, girlie, go crazy. And
what is
now
Gus?
and now it's Gus's turn to order, and I'm not even surprised by this order at all. The waiter turns to Gus, and Gus goes, oh, I'll have a white wine spritzer.
And he
Are
looks,
you
the waiter
serious?
looks at him like,
And the waiter literally is like, whatever, you little lady. Like,
yeah,
what-
he's like, okay, ma'am.
Seriously. And this is when, like, Sue Ellen's character is basically saying, like, oh, like, what's the special occasion? Like, oh, we're going out to lunch for the first time, whatever. And Gus is basically starting to make a comment that, like, oh, well, if we end up in bed together, like, whatever, basically, like, oh, I'll rock your world. But if you're not into that, then I'm just kidding. And, like, he's, like, trying to feel it out, but not being very subtle at all. And she is just, like, okay, like, what the hell is even going on here? Like, he's definitely hitting on me hard, and this is disgusting.
Yeah, and every time she's like, he like brings it up, like basically he's very blunt about it, but then he's like, but if you're not into it, I was just kidding. But if you are, like he's very,
Yeah, he's not subtle at all.
yeah, gross. So back at the office, Rose is trying to convince schools to use uniforms so they can boost sales. So Ellen tells her that they're so boring and kids just want to express themselves now, especially in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
Great
late 90s.
colors and
Yeah.
mixing and matching of patterns and fabrics and
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to express ourselves. Everybody had there were different ways people dressed, and they don't want to wear ugly ass school uniforms. So she's like, they're ugly.
Yeah. And
And
Rose basically tells her it's like a different time now. Like the kids don't want to think about what they have to wear, and it's it kind of leaves no room for, I don't want to say like bullying and stuff like that, but they don't want to even think about it. Like the schools don't even want to think about it. So it's a different time. And Sue Ellen's like, yeah, that's true. I was in high school a long time ago, so maybe you're right.
yeah, literally 30 days ago.
Right.
And Sue Ellen's back on a date with Brian. They're at a store. It's like a Walmart. I would say it's a Walmart, but they probably can't say it's a Walmart. They go into I would say like the bikes / they
like
find
a
these
toy
big
aisle.
bouncy balls. Trying to say it without it sounding weird. And they've got like the handles, and you hang onto the handle and you like kind of bounce. You sit on him and you bounce through the thing, and he's like, come on, bounce with me. And she's like, ugh, okay, fine. And she's like embarrassed, and they're like bouncing through the store and they're having fun. It's really cute. And they get kicked out. The guy's like, get out. You can't
he's like,
bounce
"You
with
don't
those
want
balls.
Yeah, like, dude, figure it out.
Right.
But they're so cute. Like, Brian definitely brings out the inner child in her because she's had to grow up so quickly. So it's kind of refreshing to see her in a different element.
Right. Yeah. So he drops her off at home and he's like, hey, do you want to go to a Dodgers game with me? And she's like, yeah. And then yeah, it would be like my sister got these tickets. It would be her and her boyfriend and you and I. And then she's like, oh, yeah, she declines and says she has to
Yeah, she's
work.
like, actually, I forgot I hate baseball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
He's
that's
like,
right. She said.
okay.
She declines to tell him where she works, and so he's getting madder. He thinks she's hiding another man or something like that. That's what he's thinking when she's like, "No, your sister's a bitch, and I don't." And so she tells him it's because she doesn't want to meet. Doesn't want to meet his sister, and he tells her that his sister has been in a slump since some backstabber at work took her job. And Brian doesn't know that it's Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen knows that it's her. And Brian doesn't know that, I'm sure she's very sweet to her brother, but she is not a nice person.
No.
Yeah. And then they fight each other, not fight each other, literally. They're fighting with
They're fist fighting in the field.
They literally just
No.
decide to fight it out, punch each other. It's great.
Yeah,
Let's figure it
they're
out.
definitely having a disagreement, and
Mhm.
basically Sue Ellen's standing up for herself, but he doesn't know that she's standing up for herself because she's
Mhm.
like, well, maybe she's really nice and your sister's just not taking it well and all this kind of stuff. And Brian's kind of fed up about okay, but you're defending this, but you're not even telling me what you're defending. You're not even telling me what you're doing all the time. He's just something is really fishy. And she's basically like, well, maybe I would tell you more if you just respected my privacy. And he did not respond well to that. So he's just like, you know what? I'm just going to take some time to cool off. We're good. We just need to separate for right now. And he walks off. He's kicking the rocks in the dirt and everything. Obviously they're both upset because they both really liked each other.
Mhm.
And this is kind of the last we see of Brian for a little bit.
Yeah. And then next morning, Kenny is up and making Belgian waffles. That's what he saw on Julia Child's show because he's been watching that. They're burnt, but A for effort. He's working on it. He's trying to do something besides smoking weed and doing nothing all day. So she comes into the kitchen to get coffee, and she puts her purse on the counter. And while her back is turned, little shitty Zach, God, I hate this kid, steals some money from her purse. Then Walter goes and he steals a ton of money.
Yeah.
These kids are awful.
Yeah, they're not.
They're just awful. Awful.
Yeah.
Gosh. So she goes to the office and there are flowers waiting for her. Who are they from? They're from
Yeah, they're
Gus.
from Gus, and he's just disgusting, and it's just it says Sue Ellen on the envelope, and she opens the envelope, and it's a card, and there's two little orchestra tickets paper clipped in them, and basically says, you're the one I want to make beautiful music with. Gag, disgusting. And Rose, of course, walks in and is like, oh my God, you have roses? I wonder who they're from, and blah, blah, blah. And Sue Ellen's basically like, oh, they're actually for you. And then she gives her the card because the only thing that said Sue Ellen on it is the envelope. So she took out of the envelope. There was the card, and it said, you're the one I want to make beautiful music with. And it says love Gus or something on it.
Mhm.
And this is when Rose is starting to kind of break down her walls with Sue Ellen. She's always been a very open person, but this is when we realize that, oh, well, me and Gus have kind of been on and off again, for 7 months. I did ask him about, she says cohabitation, so she has to move in together. And she's not really happy with the choice that he made because he was the one that said, I think it's just easier if we have our own spaces to return to and blah, 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 blah. And Rose is not playing anybody. She's literally like, yeah, girl, that just means that he doesn't want to commit. But she can't get away from him, basically. He's got her under some kind of spell. And after this little kind of talk with Rose and Sue Ellen, now we're back to freaking Carolyn and Bruce, the Skis Balls twins.
Yes, and they're plotting ways to get rid of Sue Ellen. So Carolyn stole her resume But Bruce said it's not going to work. That's not going to matter because Rose already loves her. So she's going to be like, I don't care. I love her. It doesn't matter what her thing says, anyways, which is
Yeah,
great.
and it's funny because Carolyn's like, yeah, you're right, but also like, what did she do? Copy this whole thing from a template book? And that's exactly what she did.
Exactly what she did. Yes, Carolyn is on to her. Uh, so back at the house, Walter gets a delivery with the money he stole. An entire entertainment center. Now, when I say entertainment center, I do not mean the shelves that you put stuff on. I mean
The
TVs,
electronics that go in
stereo.
it.
Yes. And this is the early 90s, so the TV is tiny, but everything else is big. The speakers are big. It's got like the VCR, everything.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it was probably, gosh, I don't know, $1,000 or something,
At
maybe
least.
at least. So, yeah, but great job,
Yeah.
Walter. Hmm.
Yeah, and now we're back at the office, and Rose is in a pickle, right? She's like, okay, well, remember they were talking about the uniforms. She's like, okay, now this is the chance, like, that's going to save our company, like, and the board wants to talk about our cost estimates and all of our reports because we need our pitch in order to pitch this idea to basically save our company because they are obviously not doing well and they need companies to buy their uniforms and blah, 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 all that stuff. So basically, moral of the story is Rose needs the QED reports and any of the cost estimates not in 3 days like it was supposed to be, but in literally like 3 hours
Mhm.
because it has to be done in the middle of the day. And Sue Ellen is like, oh, I'll get right on that, Rose, because that's exactly what she's supposed to say. But in her head, she's like, oh shit, like I need to actually get all this stuff together.
Mhm.
So her first stop is to see Kathy because Kathy's the queen of the QED reports and she is amazing and organized at her job. And she goes in there, and that is not Kathy. She sees a temp. The temp is literally like, girl, I don't know where Kathy is. I'm just a temp. And Sue Ellen is basically like, shit, shit, shit. Like, this is not happening right now. I need this right now. But we cut to Kathy coming out of the elevator, right, and runs into Carolyn, and she gives the QED report to Carolyn. And Carolyn is like, ho, yes, this is fuel because Sue Ellen hasn't been doing her own work this whole time. So she has
Mhm.
a little bit of dirt on her now.
Yes. So, yeah. So Sue Ellen goes downstairs to find Carolyn talking to Brian, and she overhears him tells him the girl isn't worth it and to forget about her. And then she notices Sue Ellen and she hides in the nearest because Brian's
Yeah,
there.
she's like, basically, you got a problem, Sue Ellen. And Sue
Yeah.
Ellen is like, shit, trying to hide because she knows obviously
Yeah.
Brian is gonna
Yeah.
notice her. So she goes into the nearest office, and whose freaking office is it?
It's Gus's office.
Like,
So of course Gus thinks she's just racing in there like, "Oh, Gus,
like
I'm
I
here for
need you
you."
now.
Yeah. Ugh,
Disgusting.
gross. Vomit city. Um, so ugh. So he thinks she's there, obviously, to politely thank him for the roses, or burst into his office being impulsive and ask him to go to what is it?
Carmel.
Carmel this weekend. And he's like, "Sure, we'll fly." He literally made the whole set, like the whole conversation that the two of them would have been having. He made the whole conversation himself, literally
Yeah,
like
he's like,
her his answer. Sure,
he's just
yeah,
disgusting, man. Yeah.
yeah. And she's like, "Not interested in you, Gus. And why are you doing this to Rose?" And of course, Gus uses his. I was just kidding.
Yeah, you have such a wild imagination. I was just
Yeah.
kidding. Like I was
Yep.
just spitballing. Girl,
Yep.
relax.
Gaslighting
Um,
aisle one. Jeez.
correct. Correct.
Oh.
And we go back to the household, and Walter is looking up his new what is it called? Like the
Entertainment
new
center. Yeah.
entertainment center, exactly, with all the TV in the works. And the antenna for the TV is not really hooked up, or it's not working at the moment. So he is not able to watch TV right now. And he goes into Kenny's room, and of course Kenny is like with all of his disgusting idiot friends, and they're high out of their mind. And Walter's basically like, "Hey, the rabbit ears aren't really working, or the TV antenna isn't really working. Like, can you please like go fix it for me?" And Kenny basically is like, "Oh no, like just fix it yourself. Like it's not important right now." Blah 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 blah. And so Kenny, or no, so Walter climbs up to the roof because, again, TV is his life, so he wants to fix it ASAP. He needs to watch his Price is Right. So he's climbing up the ladder for the roof. He gets up there to try to fix the rabbit ears, and he falls off the ladder.
Yeah.
And obviously, when he falls off the ladder, now Kenny's all interested and looking out the window going, "Oh my God, Walter, what happened?" And poor Walter's holding his leg, definitely broke like his femur or something. And Kenny rushes him to the hospital.
Yeah, poor kid. So Rose asks, we're back at the office. Rose asks for the QED report, and Carolyn happily gives it to Rose, telling her that that Kathy had been helping her. She's been doing all her QED work for her. Rose goes, "Is that true, Sue Ellen?" And Sue Ellen says, "Yes, it is." And she goes, "I'm impressed. I was wondering how you're going to get all that work done. Great delegation skills." It's like the best
and
ever.
Carolyn's like, "God damn it." And Sue Ellen's just
Foiled
sitting there
again.
like, "Okay, this is working still." Rose is really her number one supporter.
Yeah. Carolyn reminds me of like what's the racer guys, the one that has the dog and that's always like
Oh,
the
I know
wacky
exactly what you're
racers.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the wacky with the dog that always is like it's like she's trying so hard to like get that and she's not getting it. She just wants
Yeah.
to laugh.
And with all of this too, like they're all like in the like front office, like Carolyn, Rose. I think Gus is there too. Like there's everybody's kind of there. And this person goes up to Sue Ellen and they say like, "Oh, like there's an emergency about with your son. He's in the hospital." And Sue Ellen's like, "Wait, girl, what?" Like, "Oh crap." And like I think this is when Gus is like, "Wait, you have children?" Like, "Oh," and
Yeah,
then Rose
Rose
is
too.
like, "You have a husband?" And she's like, "No, no, no, I'm divorced." But
Very painful.
does say that she has 2 children at least. Like she has Melissa and Walter as her kids.
Yeah. And it's funny because she's like, like, "You have a husband?" And she's like, "No, divorce. Very painful memories. Don't like to talk about it," as she's walking out the door.
As she's like
So they
running
don't ask her
away.
about it. Yeah. So she gets to the hospital. Kenny knows it's his fault. It is Kenny's fault. He should have been watching Walter instead of eating his
100%.
waffles, which they did enjoy the waffles that he made, all the stoners. And, you know, he feels awful. And, you know, the doctor's like, "He'll be fine. It's a clean break. You know, just stay off of it," that kind of thing. Insurance should cover it. Should be good. Because she has really good insurance through this job. And back at home, Sue Ellen sees the entertainment center and asks where they got it. And they stole from her purse. She's like, "You little bastards, you stole from my purse. You stole from me." Walter got a new entertainment center. Zach bought Cynthia a diamond ring, his moon goddess.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly it's just like a little speck of a diamond ring, but
But
still,
still.
it's a diamond. Melissa bought a new bike and got Elvis a new bone. I'm for Elvis and the new bone because it's just one of those rawhide bones that probably cost like
Yeah.
$3. Okay, yeah, he deserves a new bone. That's cool. They spent over $3,000.
Yeah.
$3,000. She yells at them, but she's like, but they just throw it back in her face.
Yeah, they're like, "Well, you
Such
like
assholes.
used it for your personal stuff," and she goes, "Girl, I bought boots and a magazine. I like we are not the same, dude. Like, figure it out." And I really truly cannot stand these kids sometimes. Like it's just like so embarrassing. But Sue Ellen basically is trying to talk herself into being okay because she's like, well, there's actually no petty cash left, so this is just absolutely great. But I can work overtime and like basically put a lot of money aside for every paycheck until I can pay it all back. Like she
Mhm.
has a game plan, but it just sucks that like all these fucking kids are idiots and she's the one that has to pay for it
Yeah,
after.
because they're like, we just did what you did. We borrowed it. Bitch, you
Yeah.
did not borrow it because
Yeah.
you're not working to pay off for, pay it off, where Sue Ellen
Like
is
actually
working.
just shut up.
Yeah. So Sue Ellen's like, okay, well, my first check should be $1,000. So that will help. And then I'll just try to work and slowly get that back in there as soon as
Mhm.
possible, because she's not a thief. She did
No.
borrow the money, and that's true, because she has to
Yeah.
pay it back. Those little assholes stole the money. They
Yeah.
stole it.
Yeah.
So,
And the next day at work, Sue Ellen is going into the office and Rose stops her and says that Gaw is finished, that their pitch was not good, like they were not receiving the pitch at all, like that Sue Ellen was right, that the kids, like all the school kids found out that they were pushing those uniforms and then they protested it, so obviously that's nothing that the corporate wants to touch. And Rose tells her basically like, hey, we probably have a couple days until we're all fired. And she basically asks Sue Ellen like, hey, Franklin loves you. Can you be the one to break the news to Franklin that we are not probably going to have jobs anymore?
yeah, so it shows her with Franklin, like hugging Franklin. She's like,
She's so
it's
cute.
okay. He's like, I know, okay. She's like, you'll be okay, Franklin. It'll be okay. And then she's looking at his like sketches and stuff and like different. She goes like through all of the different uniforms and stuff, and she's like putting things with other things. Like when she dressed for her interview, she was putting like this with this, which normally doesn't go with it. That. And so she has an idea, and she tells Rose her idea and of making more modern, different uniforms, not boring old uniforms. Putting
Mhm.
like a lot of the people that wear those uniforms are younger people, like the food service workers, that kind of stuff.
Like nurses,
And
kind
yeah,
of like
and
the candy stripers and stuff.
mhm.
Yeah.
And they want cooler things. They don't want to wear these ugly, old-fashioned, uniforms.
Gray and white
So
uniforms, like
yeah,
very,
yeah.
yeah, dull.
So Rose tells her it's a great idea, and she's like, "So we're gonna throw an event. Just use the petty cash to
Hmm.
pay for the event." Because
Hmm.
she's like, they're not going to give us money for it. We're just going to have to use petty cash. And she's
Yeah.
like, okay. And so, since there's no petty cash left, she asks all the kids, like, here, we have to do this because I'll be out of a job. This is a
Hmm.
big deal. I need you guys to help me. Please help me do this. We're all in this together. She's like, or we're all going to go to prison.
Yeah. And she does these little things with Rose to kind of divert all these things because she's like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Like a what's it called? Like a convention center
Or
or like
event
a
hall.
little yeah, an event hall is so out of date. Like I have a fabulous house. Like let's just have it at my house. No problem. And then when she makes those arrangements, she's like really ripping in the kids. She's like, we all have to pull our own weight, otherwise I'm throwing all of you guys under the bus and I'm going down with you, I know, but not just for the babysitter, but for all of this stolen money and blah 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 blah. And actually, we do see a little bit of respect by the children with Sue Ellen because now everybody is pitching in, even Sue Ellen's friends and even Kenny's friends as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and because this house is a trash, like outside, inside, the
Yeah.
the lawn is like non-existent. It's
The
like
pool is
grass.
disgusting.
Yeah, the
Like,
pool is
yeah,
dirt.
there's
It's
trash
empty.
everywhere. It's the
Hmm.
house that you lock your doors like when you drive by.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. It could be beautiful because it is a beautiful house. It's just unkept. It's not kept up to
Yeah.
the standard it should be.
Mhm.
And so we find out what it actually looks like when you clean it and you clean the pool out and you mow the lawn and you landscape and all this beautiful stuff, it turns into the pool's beautiful. It's a really nice in-ground pool. The house looks nice. Kenny is going to be doing the catering because he is perfecting his culinary skills.
Yeah.
And Kenny's now kind of being the dad because where Sue Ellen's off working, he's kind of like the at-home dad, or going to the
Yeah.
little league games, cheering on the kids, you
Cleaning the
know,
house.
making dinner. And Sue Ellen gets home late at night. She's there enough to tuck in the smaller kids, and she's always working. She's working on her sketches, trying to really figure these uniforms out. And while talking to Kenny on the phone, okay. So next day at work, Sue Ellen is talking to Kenny, and she's like turned to the window, so the door is behind her, and Slimy Bruce, which is David Duchovny, overhears Sue Ellen says, she lets it slip that she has taken all of the petty cash. It's all gone. And Bruce, of course, is like, ooh, yay. Guess what I get to tell Carolyn? I'm so excited.
Yeah, ooh, we a Zeppelin.
Yeah, right? And then back to home, Sue Ellen comes home late to Kenny cleaning the kitchen, and they fight like a married couple.
Yeah, Kenny, I love seeing this side of Kenny because he was always like a burnout, but he never was like a thief or anything. He was just lazy and a burnout. But now that he has all these responsibilities, like he's the one cleaning the house, cooking dinner, taking care of the kids, taking them places. Basically Sue Ellen comes home and Kenny is like, now, where have you been? You told me that you were going to be here 3 hours ago. And I went ahead and served dinner to the kids already. And if you would have told me, then I would have waited for dinner and blah, 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 blah. And basically he's like, you don't appreciate me. You didn't even tell me that the house looked nice, and like really digging into it. And it's just so funny to hear him care about stuff and talk like this because he's basically like the father figure going on, and Sue Ellen is basically bickering at him back, like saying like, but I do appreciate you, and he's like, go to hell, you don't appreciate me.
Yeah.
And then as he storms off in a living room, he starts to like dust off the couch too and everything. Like it's just now second nature for him, but it's good to see him like care about stuff now.
My favorite line that he does tell her is, you don't even take me out anymore. When was the last time we had dinner together?
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of not being appreciated. And that's when she says like, oh, are you, Kenny? Like, she's like, it's like, okay, Kenny, you feel underappreciated. Now you just jumped into actually being like taking on adult duties where you just ignored him the whole, 15,
the
16
first
years of
month,
your life.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
now,
Sue Ellen's like, girl, how do you think I feel? Like, I'm the sole breadwinner. I'm the one that has to stay at work at nights and miss all of the things and all that. So I think that they had a mutual understanding after that because
yeah.
Kenny's like, well, you're right. Like, I should feel appreciated, but also, like, I forget that you are doing all of these things for us to put food on the table and to keep it going, basically.
Yeah. And meanwhile, while this is happening, they show a quick like cut to Bruce and Carolyn breaking into Sue Ellen's office and
course.
find that even though the petty cash is gone, she has receipts for everything. So she changed out like ice sculpture, and has it like $300 and flowers and event space, which is her space. Like it's all accounted for. So he's like literally like it's all accounted for. Like they can't do
Yeah, like,
anything.
this is for the party. Like, this is all
Yes.
normal.
And however, they do find her ID because she left her purse there.
Yeah, they literally went through her wallet. I thought that
Her
was
purse,
really
yeah.
weird. Yeah,
her-
like their
yeah.
purse, and they pulled out her wallet, and then they found out that she's only 17. And Carolyn's like, "Oh, yes, thank you. Finally something, some little
Finally.
dirt on her." And there's no way that Rose can kind of get around that,
Very
because
17-year-old,
that's
yeah.
straight up fact. So she makes like a photocopy of her freaking license.
Yeah.
But now it's time for the beautiful giant event. And let me tell you,
Hmm.
this house looks
It's
freaking
beautiful.
gorgeous. It is
Hmm.
beautiful. There's the beautiful ice sculptures, there's the fountains, the pool looks amazing. And it's really, really cute because when Sue Ellen, like, she looks stunning. She's in this beautiful black, like, gorgeous gown, and she has her
Hmm.
hair all cute with, like, the little, I don't know, it's just a total 90s hairstyle, like, with the
Yeah,
little
with the
clips.
little different clips. There's like three different
Yeah.
clips in her around her
Um,
ponytail.
and she goes in the kitchen, and Kenny looks very dapper. He cut his hair. He
Hmm.
doesn't have the stoner hair anymore. It's like just a cute little slick back hair shortcut now. And Kenny catered the whole event. The hors d'oeuvres look beautiful. He's taking a lot of pride in his work. And even Melissa is helping out, and Melissa's little league friends are also helping out. They have the cute little monarch uniforms that they use for T-ball or for the little league.
For Little League.
And they
Provided
are,
by GAW uniforms.
yes. And it's cute because Rose is like, "Oh, that's a nice touch." Like even they're
Hmm.
using our uniforms. And they are the ones that are going to be running the food around. So they even have like a fancy little, everybody has a job basically.
Yes.
Because even Kenny's weird stoner friends are like the valets to park the cars.
Yes. Yes. Um, so like you said, Kenny, aka Kenneth now.
Oh
It's
yeah, his name
Kenneth.
tag says Kenneth.
Kenneth has cut his hair. He looks great. He's managing the kitchen. Carolyn and Bruce show up in her car, and it's like a hatchback older
Yeah.
car because she's just a receptionist.
Mhm.
And they pull up, and it's the stoner guys, their friends, and they're like, "Oh God, like this piece of crap. Oh God!" And they're like, "Guys, could you just park the car?" They're like, "We're on a break."
Yeah, there's occasions we're busy and they're playing like a guitar. Like it's just so
Yes, it is
random.
so funny. And they just like basically ignore them. So they just get out of the car and then they go to the
Yeah.
party. And so Kathy shows up, cute little Kathy with her husband. She shows up with a
Yeah.
jello mold.
She is adorable and she has like this like green jello mold. She's like, I just want to make sure that you had one. Wasn't sure. Like she's somebody you definitely think that she's never gonna come to a party empty-handed. Like she's just so cute and traditional.
Mhm. Yeah. And Zach, my least favorite child, comes into
Ugh.
the kitchen and he's all sad because, oh no, what happened? Cynthia broke up with him.
Yeah.
Shocker.
And
The
Sue
ring.
Ellen does comfort him, like, and he is receiving the comfort from Sue Ellen. But Sue Ellen's first response is, "Well, did you get the diamond back?"
Right,
So he
right.
can sell it and get the money back because, girl, you're dumb and you literally are 12 years old and you got your girlfriend a diamond ring because you're stupid.
Yeah, yeah. However, all is not lost because one of the little league girls comes in for a tray, and Zach grabs the tray and he goes out with her, like with the trays, and he
He's like,
says,
"Oh, I got
"I'm
it."
the maitre d'," and then they start talking. I was like, "Oh, all is not lost." There you go. Don't steal
He's
from
like,
her.
"That was quick."
Yeah. Um, Carolyn comes running to Rose to tell her she's hired a child. Rose tells her, "You need to grow up, Carolyn." She's like, "Grow up, Carolyn." It's like great.
I
And
so love that throughout this whole movie because I feel like in all 80s and 90s movies, there's a point where like the bosses or like the person turns on the protagonist like that because they're like, oh, like this is devastating, and then eventually they make up again. I love that Rose never turns her back
never. She
on
is
Sue Ellen.
loyal.
Like that is definitely rare, and that's just something I really appreciate in this movie that there's
Yes.
never any like, ugh, like where they have to like reconnect again. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
where she's given false information, then she like fires her or something, and finds out
Yes.
that they get that dumb stuff. Yes,
Exactly.
Rose
They just do it with
is.
Brian in this movie, which is fine.
Yeah, Rose is an example of what a boss should be. I love it. Love it.
100%.
On your side, no matter what. It's
Yeah.
very rare
Innocent
to find
until
something like
proven
that.
guilty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. Especially she knows like Karen's a little snot,
yeah.
so she knows she's like a little weasel.
True.
Um, and we have more visitors. So Sue Ellen's friends are back from Europe, and they're going to be the models.
Hmm.
So they all come in, and Sue Ellen's in the kitchen with Kenneth. And they're like, "Where do you want us?" And she's like, "Oh, just go upstairs in my room and draw us." And they're like, "Cool." And then Nicole goes, "Kenny?" And then he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Mm."
Yeah, she's like, very
She goes
nice.
upstairs, and he's like, oh, not the
Like,
windshield wiper.
finally. Yeah. And now we have creepy old Gus coming in through the front door. He's just let himself in. I don't know what that's about. Like everybody else is going around like in the backyard and he just walks right through the front door. And of course, Sue Ellen is right there in the living room, right there when he comes in. And he tells her that he knows like, oh, his timing's off because you just went through this nasty divorce and that you're not interested yet and you're still healing and basically doing all this shit like where it's like, oh, you're just a girl and you're sad because you just divorced your husband, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, girl, no. Like, I'm not interested. Even if I wasn't going through a divorce, I was still not interested ever. And he's like, well, even if you're not interested in dating me, then we could still have like a flirty, like sweaty fling and like basically still coming on to her. And
Yes.
she's like, I cannot spell it out enough for you. You are disgusting. You are a sleazeball. And she picks up a water gun that's just randomly laying in her living room and squirts him with the water gun.
Yeah.
But she squirts him like in the pants where it looks like he literally pissed himself.
Yeah. It's great. It's great. Yeah. And so Rose comes in and she's like, what is going on? And Sue Ellen tells her everything. She's like, he's been hitting on you. And she's like, yes. And Rose is like, we're all adults here. Gus, she goes, Gus, the buyer from Saks is here looking for you. And she tells Sue Ellen it's showtime. So they're going to handle this later. And all of her friends are modeling the uniforms. These uniforms are the ugliest flipping uniforms I've ever seen in my entire freaking life.
I love the colors though, but like it's so weird. Like the colors that combine together are like purple and traffic cone orange. And like definitely totally 80s colors. Like early 90s, totally 80s. So but the girls are really modeling the shit out of these uniforms though. They are so enthusiastic. They're so cute walking down like the little runway. And as the girls are walking down the runway, Sue Ellen is the one that's introducing like, oh, well now you see these bellhop uniforms in a beautiful teal and spandex fuchsia with these tangerine tights and laced up Converse, like up the tangerine tights. And it's just all of these bright, ugly colors.
Yeah, like the nurses' uniform. Okay, nurses run everything. They're running here and there everywhere. They're in charge of everything. They have to do everything. All the doctors do is come and go, yeah, that's about right. You've got this. Here's your prescription.
Yeah,
buy.
pretty much.
Where the nurses
They go,
are
"Oh, what do you
literally,
think?"
yeah, the nurses are literally doing everything. So they need comfortable something to be comfortable in. And that's why scrubs are good for them because they're comfortable. They move well. They're not restraining anything. So out comes the nurse with like a nurse's hat, and it's got like these diamonds, black diamonds on them, and it's a form-fitting mini fuchsia dress with tangerine tights and pink lace-up ballet sneakers that go up to her knee. And to give her like an accessory, it's a stethoscope necklace, not a stethoscope to use. It's a necklace that is a stethoscope. She would have to have two stethoscopes. One would have to work and one is a necklace.
I get the vibe. It's fine.
Yeah. So this is how I felt when I was watching this. And I was like, ooh, the big reveal. I can't wait. I'm just like, it was like the big reveal in Pretty in Pink with the dress.
I was just thinking that. I was like, when she literally takes the cute dress and she makes it ugly.
Oh, God,
What is
you
that
make it
collar that
ugly
she
or
has on that dress? I know. I'm like, Molly Ringwald, you are literally like the icon of the 80s. No, like she was definitely like the Brat Pack icon. And you walk out with that pale pink dress with the freaking polka dots and that ugly choker attached to it with I just couldn't.
Oh, God.
It's so bad. The cut is bad. Everything's bad about it. It really makes me mad because she literally, her whole personality and persona is that she's a seamstress. Like she can make her own clothes, and that was the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's what it felt like. I was like betrayed. I was like, it's the dress all over again.
You're like,
you betrayed me. I
mean,
can't
dude,
watch this. Pink lace up
Uh,
sneakers and tangerine tights. I can't.
The tangerine tights are really killing me. And as this is going on, we hear like an intercom in the background, and it's Brian driving in the clown dog delivery truck, like basically professing his love for Sue Ellen, like, oh, we can work on things, and like, this is my gesture to get you back, and I can't stop thinking about you. And that's all you hear in the background. Like, all of the corporate people that are sitting in the lawn are like, what's going on? And poor Sue Ellen is still trying to keep the fashion show going. And now she's like kind of cutting it short. Like, she's like, oh, and now you see a referee costume. Okay, thanks, Patricia. And like basically like shoos them off the thing. And Sue Ellen's really trying her best to ignore Brian and his little profession of love. But she can't. And Brian jumps out of the van and is like, oh, you're throwing a party? Like, what the hell? And Sue Ellen makes Brian a part of the show. That it's like a live action show kind of thing. And he's like, oh, well, here is Brian, and he's in a classic clown dog uniform with the sailor's hat and blah, blah, blah. And Brian's just like, what the hell is going on? And now she has Kenny chirping in her ear. What the hell does Kenny want?
Mom's home. And Sue Ellen panics and ends the presentation, and Rose runs to her like, what are you doing? And she goes, I ran out of half of that, Rose. And she's panicking, and she's just looking everywhere. And she's like, so then this fucking mom, I can't stand this woman. Instead of just being like, obviously nothing, it's not like it's like a porno going on. It's obviously a nice, elegant party that's being thrown. I would kind of be like, just in the back looking to see what's going on. No, mom yells in the middle of everybody, Swell, you're in big trouble. Fuck off, Mom. Since when do you care? Seriously.
Do you not see the beautiful yard right now? Do you not see the elegant? Yeah.
Yeah. And at the microphone, Sue Ellen confesses everything. She's like, I just can't. I can't do this anymore. She says, I'm only 17. And she's sorry that she can't be the hub of communications anymore, and looks at Rose. And she's not ready for it. And this was supposed to be her summer vacation. She apologizes to Rose and then runs off. So Carolyn and Bruce are excited that she was humiliated. She's like, oh, she's humiliated.
Yeah, Carolyn's like, oh, how humiliating. Like, of course, this little bitch.
And another one of my favorite parts is Gus goes up to Rose and says, so do you believe me now, or are you going to believe some kid? She goes, I'm going to believe some kid. Go to hell, Gus.
I love Rose.
Yes.
She is such an icon for that.
Yes,
yeah. She deserves it.
Yes. Still to the very end, she's on her side. Good for her. Mm-hmm. In the kitchen, Mom wants an explanation. Again, not a good time, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she will never trust Sue Ellen again, and she specifically said no parties. Sue Ellen tells her she needs a nap. Like, literally, go to bed.
Yeah, you cranky old hag. I have one more beef with her mom, because even in the beginning of the movie, she hugs every single one of her kids. Like, obviously not Kenny, because Kenny rode off in the sunset, except for Sue Ellen. She literally is like, oh, Walter, I'll miss you. Oh, Zach, I'll miss you. Oh, Melissa, I'll miss you. And then she just fucking leaves. So, like, Sue Ellen, like, I don't blame Sue Ellen for basically being like, just go to bed, you little bitch. You weren't supposed to be back for like 3 more days or like 3 more weeks, really. Like, just shut up. Why don't you go back with your boyfriend? Literally, get away from me.
Yeah. And so she tells her mom, go take a nap, since she had a long flight and she's just cranky. She goes, tomorrow Kenny will whip up some Belgian waffles for everyone. And the mom's like,
what?
What? She's like, huh? Okay. So great. And she sees how Sue Ellen has stepped up and how much the kids changed, and goes to her room, but not before noticing how nice the house is with all the improvements. So before opening her damn mouth the first time, she should have maybe just seen what's going on.
Right.
Because it's obviously not teenage party. These are adult people in like formal
no one was raging, no one's doing, like, there was no drinking, like, it was all very elegant.
Yeah, there's ice sculptures, there's a bar, like an actual bar, not like a kegger where people are doing keg stands or anything like that. And Carolyn and Bruce are ready to go, and they're waiting for their car, and Rose is there, and they all are just basking in their their win, Rose is
They're
not
like,
impressed.
finally.
Yeah, Rose is like, oh, shut up. Like, I don't care. And here comes their car. The valet guys bring back the car. It's covered in toilet paper and shaving cream. And they're like, here you
Good.
go. Just like you
As it
left
should
it.
be. Yeah, right. Exactly how you wanted it. And Sue Ellen then catches Rose outside again and she apologizes. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like, it just got way out of hand and blah, blah, blah. And Rose basically tells her that the buyers didn't even care about the whole scene that was made at the end. They still loved the idea. They even complimented her on hiring like a teenager to really get into the scene of the
Like the
young
market
mind and
perception.
fashion and gaining that market perspective. And says that she also has 7 meetings set up for next week and they want that new gaw line. So Rose is obviously extremely thankful for this new perspective, even if, Sue Ellen was lying that whole time.
Yeah, and she tells Rose, she's like, well, what about everything else? And Rose tells her she supposes she'll grow out of it. And Kenny's talking to his friends who tells him it was a cool party. His friend wants to do a beer run tomorrow. And Kenny's like, I can't, man. I got a date with Nicole.
Yes.
Good for him.
And then they go, oh, the nurse? And they're like, yeah. They're like, good job, buddy.
Yeah.
So
And
cute.
he also tells his friend that he wants to show up to school and graduate and maybe go to culinary school,
Yeah.
you know?
I love that for him.
And Rose still wants Sue Ellen to work for her, but Sue Ellen turns it down because she's going to try college or design school. And they will both miss each other. And that Rose is the best. Of course, they
Yes.
hug. And now it's time to make it right with Brian.
Yeah, and Brian, the king that he is, I think that he's so cute in this. And he's just waiting out by the delivery truck this whole time. Like, he's just sitting out there waiting, and she approaches to him and basically says, like, I'm so sorry that you kind of got wrapped all up into this. And Brian explains that, okay, well, me and Carolyn kind of put 2 and 2 together now, and I think our story is pretty much straight, with all of that craziness that was going on before. And Sue Ellen is basically like, well, did you mean what you said when you were going over the intercom that you wanted to get back together? And he kind of turns away and is just like, well, now I know the truth. So it just they kind of play it off like he's going to get in the truck and leave. But then he turns around and pulls out a rose and asks her, what is she doing on New Year's Eve? And then they kiss and it's like so cute because he's like, well, is this a good time? And they kiss and it's adorable. And he asks, well, how did you think you could get away with all of this, basically? And Sue Ellen goes, well, I pretty much did. I mean, really, she didn't have any repercussions, really.
Yeah.
She kind of reconnected with Rose and reconnected with Brian. And then we hear Sue Ellen's mom.
She yells from the porch, where's the babysitter?
And then it just kind of zooms down. And it's like, oh. And then that's it.
Yes. And then we do get a cut scene, and it's the 2 mortuary guys that had found, Mrs. Sturek's
When they dropped
body.
her off.
They dug a grave for her. She's in a grave, and it says, the one guy goes, I'm really gonna miss her. And the other guy says, you never even knew her. And he's like, yeah, but she left us all her money. And he's like, she was already dead, you moron. Well, that's true. And the gravestone says, nice old lady, died of natural causes.
Yeah.
The end.
And then that was really it after that. But I thought that was a cute little thing at the end. But
That is a wonderful, just fun movie to watch. Just a
yeah, very fun. And Christina
enjoyed it.
Applegate is so good in this. And this is during while she was in Married with Children, right? Like this
Yep.
was like when she was starting to get peak
Yeah.
recognition for that role too. So it's so cool to see her so young because I just remember watching her in so many other things after that.
So quick budget. It didn't give me a budget, but it did say opening weekend it made $4,233,415. Worldwide, it grossed only $25,196,249. $196,249. So I was probably considered a flop, but that's what we like. We like those, cult classic-y kind of stuff. So Ireland's got a few
Yeah, I
Fun
have the
facts for
fun
us.
facts
She's
this
got the
time.
fun facts. What you
And
got?
it was so interesting, and I got all of my fun facts off of IMDb, but I'm like somebody, and my mom is the same way. I'm somebody where if I'm watching something and something pops in my head, I'm like, I have to look it up right that minute. And a lot of the stuff that I was looking up, like, kind of was already in IMDb, so I was looking through IMDb, and there was just so much, all this extra stuff that I don't know if we've really seen a lot of movies that have all these like extra like trivia questions and like fun facts kind of things. Some of these are not very fun.
No.
Like the first one that I wrote down was Zach's character, Christopher Petier or Petiet. I don't know how to pronounce their last name, but he was obviously very young in this. I want to say he was like
He's 14.
14, yeah. But throughout the whole film, they almost had to stop production because at that time, like he started using drugs like cocaine, diazepam, like mixing a bunch of stuff like that as young as 14 years old.
Yeah.
And they almost had to stop production because his drug problem was getting so far out of control. And they even had more scenes with him in it, but they had to cut a lot of those scenes because of his drug addiction. And sadly, he passed away in 2000. He was only 24. It's like so incredibly sad. But yeah, so that's the only one that's pretty sad. But some of these other ones are very 90s. Like the next one I found was that when they were making the script, the original script was made for Winona Ryder to play Sue Ellen, which I thought was really cool, but she could not because she was already accepted into Edward Scissorhands at the same time, which I love that movie too.
Yes.
Little blonde Winona Ryder, and Mermaids as well, but I've never heard of
okay.
the Mermaids.
That
So,
has
but those were the
Sharon in it,
two
yeah.
that she was filming at pretty much the same time. And then there was like somebody else that they gave the part to, but she's a writer now. Like she wrote on Wizards of Waverly Place. I did not know who she was. And the reason that Christina Applegate got the part is because Ed O'Neill is really good friends with whoever produced Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. So he's like, oh, I got just the girl for you, and gave Christina Applegate the script. So that was really cool. Keith Coogan, the one that plays Kenny, he originally auditioned to play Brian, and even with his audition too, like when they had the audition, they're like, oh, you are way too old to play a 15-year-old, when after they denied him from Brian, because I don't think he would have been a good Brian. He just has like that like brotherly look to him. But then so they're like, oh, well, what about one of the siblings? So obviously Kenny was the next one, and they were like, you look way too old to play a 15-year-old. And he was 20. Yeah, and with that he came back looking like a stoner, like with like a wig and like the grungy clothes and stuff, and they're like, oh my god, actually he's perfect. So it's just what a little magic can do, that. With that, when they had his little like long stoner wigs, he had 2 wigs and they were both $3,000 to make and produce, which is insane. And then the connection with that is that Keith Coogan's grandpa had toupees made from the same company, so he's like, oh, I have a company for you to make wigs. So that was really interesting too.
Love that.
I have some other ones, I guess. So there were 2 pictures on Sue Ellen's desk when she was in the little corner office with Rose's office, and it was just Melissa and Walter, like the 2 youngest kids. And in Melissa's picture, that same exact picture was also used in Halloween 4 for the return of Michael Myers.
Yep.
So that was cool. And let's see. Jennifer Love Hewitt was supposed to play Melissa, which that's a huge name, which is crazy. But she couldn't get out of her contract with Kids Incorporated, so they kind of refused her to do that. Because I forget, like, this was the time for, and I know child actors are still probably, like, repressed, but, like, this is the time where there were so many child actors and, like, emancipations. Like, this was also with, like, Drew Barrymore and, not Kieran Culkin, but Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
So I felt like all of these child actors were getting stuck in all these contracts and having issues with parents and stuff. So that was interesting.
Good old Kids Incorporated.
Yeah. I've never even heard of Kids Incorporated.
K-I-T-S. Yeah. they'd all
Oh,
like
no.
turn into like one of the. She was actually Love. That was her name on it. She didn't go by
Oh.
Jennifer Love. She was just Love. They're like Love, and she's like what? She was kind of annoying. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. I love her.
I do too.
But in that show, I was like, she's so annoying. I mean, Fergie was
Yeah.
on that show.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was one of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Monster Squad cool guy, Rudy, the one that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was from that too. Martika, yeah, that whole bunch.
Oh, Martika. Toy
Yeah.
Soldiers Martika?
Yes, Toy Soldiers Martika.
Yes. What a
Yes.
great song. Shout out to
Yep.
Martika.
Yep.
And then the last one that I wrote down, which I thought was kind of interesting, was when Sue Ellen first opens the cash box, they start playing Gimme Some Money by Spinal Tap. And no other movie, except for This Is Spinal Tap, has ever played a Spinal Tap song.
That's great. I didn't know.
That was so weird. I
That's
just, like, that
awesome.
was one where I was like, wait, what the heck?
That's a great random fact.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those are the ones they chose. And there's also, and if you're like if you're like me and my mom and you're psychos and you want to know all the useless information you can, there's like a bunch of other stuff everywhere. So,
IMDb is usually a good one for
yeah,
that.
great
Yeah.
source. And this was such a fun movie to cover.
It
I love
was.
this
Yes. So this was for Julie. So hopefully we did it some justice for you. I hope you enjoy this episode. And thank you for your suggestion.
recommendation.
Yeah, your recommendation. We love it. We are going to be doing next. What are we doing next, Ireland?
Jawbreaker. I love that movie. Was that
Oh.
Rose McGowan?
Rose McGowan, Rebecca Gayheart.
Oh, Rebecca Gayheart is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a bunch of other.
There's other. I only know them like the one girl's from Buffy. She was Darla
Yes,
from Buffy.
Exactly. Oh, it's that girl
Yeah.
from this and this and this. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then
I'm super excited to do that
is
one
it
too.
is it yeah it's Judy Gear
Judy
Greer, yeah, from yeah, she's also in 13 going on 30, right? That's
Yeah,
her.
she
She's
was like
from-
the best friend in 13 going on 30.
Yeah,
in quotations,
yeah,
'cause she's a little bitch, but
yeah, right, yeah. Who needs friends when you got enemies? Who needs enemies when you got friends like that? Yeah, so we're gonna be doing that. We still got to do our Florida episode. We'll do that one eventually.
yeah, our
It's
last
just-
Florida man is. You guys
Yeah.
know the drill. It's gonna come out when it comes out, so those are
Yeah.
just fun to make. And it's our last one.
Yeah,
They don't have any more seasons after that, so
no
unless
more. They're coming
Maybe
out with
the
a third
next
season, but it
yeah,
might take a little
Maybe
hiatus from that one.
Slide is gonna push another one out, so
Yeah, all those are
maybe
always
sooner
fun.
than later.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, subscribe if you can. YouTube, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the casts.
Whatever you listen to music or
yeah.
podcasts on. And any suggestions at any time are greatly appreciated because I'll tell you the hardest part of this thing is not that we're covering the movies, but figuring out what movies to cover. So please, like, we love suggestions.
Yeah. Yep. And anything helps. Just subscribing would be great. You know, we love when we get new subscribers. We know we're like very niche.
Yeah.
We know what we are.
We're self-aware.
We're self-aware. We know what we are. Yeah, but we do appreciate everybody. We say it every time, but we really do. Yeah, and we want to continue to do this, and we will, whether people like it or not.
True.
Hi. On behalf of myself, Katie, the Gen X mom,
And Ireland, the Gen Z daughter.
thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Butterscotch Rewatch, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.